The sound of the waves at Cousin's Beach was the same as always, steady, timeless, like a heartbeat that refused to change no matter how many summers passed. But this summer, Belly felt it differently. She stood at the edge of the pier, toes brushing the warm wood, her hair whipped gently by the salt wind. Behind her, she heard the faint crunch of footsteps. "Hey," came Conrad's voice, that soft, uncertain tone she could recognize anywhere. Belly turned slowly, heart skipping. He stood there, older somehow, tan and tired, the same boy and yet not the same at all. His eyes, that gray-blue she'd once sworn she could drown in, met hers, and something unspoken moved between them. "You came back," she whispered. "Couldn't stay away," he said with a crooked smile. For a moment, the silence between them was thick with everything unsaid, all the missed chances, the half-kept promises, the years of almost. Belly looked away, out toward the water, pretending the sunlight didn't sting her eyes. They walked along the shore, words slipping out like secrets they'd both been holding too long. About Jeremiah. About college. About how hard it was to forget. "Do you ever wish things had been different?" she asked quietly. He hesitated, then stepped closer, so close she could feel the warmth of his body against the ocean wind. "No," he said finally. "I just wish I'd been braver." The world seemed to still. Belly looked up, her breath catching, because she saw it, the truth shimmering in his eyes, raw and real. The air trembled between them. His hand brushed her arm, tentative at first, then firmer, like he couldn't stop himself. And then he kissed her. It wasn't the reckless, heated kiss of their teenage summers. It was slower, deeper, a confession in motion. The ocean hummed behind them, the sky a swirl of gold and pink. For a heartbeat, everything else vanished, no guilt, no confusion, no Jeremiah, no distance. Just them. Just this. When they finally broke apart, Belly rested her forehead against his chest, her eyes closed. "I thought we were done," she whispered. Conrad's hand lingered in her hair. "We never were." The tide rolled in again, soft and endless, and for the first time in a long while, Belly didn't run from it. The summer storms came fast at Cousin's Beach, the kind that rolled in without warning, sweeping away the golden calm and replacing it with wild, electric air. Belly sat on the porch steps of the Fisher Beach house, knees tucked under her chin, watching rain streak down the windowpanes. Inside, laughter echoed faintly, Jeremiah's, Stephen's, the same familiar sounds, but they felt far away. Her thoughts were all caught up in that kiss. The one she hadn't expected. The one that changed everything. She didn't hear the door open behind her until he spoke. "Belly." Conrad stepped out, barefoot, his hair damp, his t-shirt clinging to his chest from the humidity. She looked up, startled, or maybe not. Some part of her always knew he'd follow. "You shouldn't be out here," he said softly. "You'll get soaked." "I don't mind," she whispered, voice trembling slightly. He hesitated, just for a second, then sat beside her, the rain misting over both of them. The air between them buzzed, alive with unspoken things. "You've been avoiding me," he said. "I'm not avoiding you." He smiled faintly. "Then look at me." When she finally did, something cracked open in both of them. All the distance, all the confusion, gone in a single heartbeat. She saw the ache in his eyes, the way his fingers flexed like he wanted to reach for her but didn't trust himself to. "I keep trying to forget what happened," she said, voice breaking. "But I can't." "Good," he murmured. "Because I can't either." The storm swelled. Thunder rumbled far off, a low pulse beneath their words. Conrad reached out, his hand finding hers, slow, deliberate. For a moment, she let him. Then he leaned in, just enough that she could feel the warmth of his breath against her cheek. "Tell me to stop," he whispered. She didn't. Their lips met again, this time under the rhythm of the rain. It was fiercer, heavier, a kiss that carried everything they'd tried to bury. The porch light flickered as the rain poured harder, wrapping them in a world made only of heartbeats and water. When they finally pulled away, both of them were breathless. "You can't keep doing this to me, Conrad," she said, voice shaking. "I know," he said. His thumb traced the edge of her jaw, tender, apologetic. "But I don't know how to stop loving you." For a long moment, neither moved. The world outside kept on raging, lightning flashing across the ocean, thunder rolling through the night, but all Belly could hear was the sound of his heart, steady and real beneath the chaos. The summer drew toward its end, slow and golden, like the last few notes of a song no one wanted to finish. Cousins Beach had begun to empty out. Chairs folded. Umbrellas gone. The air smelled like salt and memory. Belly stood on the sand, bare feet sinking into the cool grain. The ocean stretched endless in front of her, the same ocean that had seen them grow up, fall apart, and find each other again. Behind her, she heard that familiar voice. "Bells." She turned. Conrad was there, wind in his hair, that half-smile that always undid her. He walked toward her slowly, as if he was afraid the moment might break if he moved too fast. "You leaving tomorrow?" he asked. "Yeah," she said softly. "School starts soon." A pause hung between them, heavy with everything they'd said, and everything they hadn't. The wind picked up, carrying the faint cry of gulls and the hum of waves. "I was thinking," Conrad said finally, "about that first summer. The bonfire. You in that white dress. You looked at me like I was the only person in the world." Belly smiled, faintly. "You were." He stepped closer, eyes never leaving hers. "And now?" "Now," she swallowed hard. "You still are. But I don't know if that's enough anymore." The words trembled in the air between them. She meant them, and she didn't. Because loving him had never been a choice, it was something that lived in her bones. Conrad looked down, the tide washing over their feet. "I messed up so many times," he said. "But every time I tried to stay away, I ended up here. With you." Her eyes glistened. "Then why does it always hurt so much?" "Because it's real," he whispered. He reached for her hand, pulling her closer until their foreheads touched. The world seemed to fall away, the noise, the years, the doubts. All that remained was that familiar heartbeat rhythm, that quiet truth. "Maybe," she said, "this is how it's supposed to end." He shook his head gently. "No, Belly. This isn't an ending." And then, without another word, he kissed her. It was slow, deliberate, a kiss that felt like the tide turning. A promise and a goodbye all at once. His hands framed her face as if memorizing every line, every breath. She clung to him like the summer itself, knowing that when she let go, nothing would ever feel the same. When they finally parted, the sky had turned orange and pink, the last sunset of the season spilling across the sea. Conrad brushed a strand of hair from her cheek. "No matter what happens," he said softly, "you'll always be my summer." She smiled through her tears. "And you'll always be the one I turn pretty for." He laughed, quiet and broken, pulling her into one last embrace as the waves curled around them, soft, endless, forgiving. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, their silhouettes melted into the light, two hearts caught forever between what was and what would never be.